Today, the big cities are competing with one another. The capital cities, information, images, and people are moving throughout the world in an increasingly fast pace. In order to tap into the flow and develop their activities, the megacity must provide attractive facilities, not only in the commercial sector, but also in the sphere of culture, education, and innovation. The Mall and Exhibition Center project of Jeddah Economic City that you have seen in the previous talk is a prime example. It's an essential part of Jeddah's influence on a regional scale, developed around the world's tallest high-rise, the 1,000-meter Jeddah Tower. The project composes with it to make a unique ensemble of two iconic projects. Architecture gives these facilities their image, and these images are instantly conveyed around the globe by the web. Architecture has a decisive role in the perception of places and goes beyond the use that people get out of them. In this way, architecture makes a significant contribution to the influence and attractiveness that big cities have through the images of their large-scale facilities. At a time when innovation imposes itself as a major center of attention, the novelty of architectural expression is an essential advantage. Our firm works on this matter just about everywhere in the world. I'm going to quickly present some examples before developing more the Jeddah project. Please allow me to begin with Paris. That is the center of our activities. Paris, as you know, Paris is today a megacity of 10 million inhabitants that benefits from globalization throughout its service sector. Paris is the first ranking city for international conventions in the world, and the first ranking European city for exhibition, and of course the first tourist destination, not to mention its fashion industry, gastronomy, and as we say, art de vivre à la française. Paris Expo is the biggest exhibition center of Paris. It results from the renovation of Paris' historic exhibition center. We were in charge of developing the master plan, upgrading the buildings that were to be kept, and designing new halls. We took advantage of the original residential-like framework to design the grounds as if they were a new neighborhood integrated into the Parisian urban fabric. We also imagine it like a green park traversed by wide pedestrian alleys bordered by gardens. The exhibition grounds are also characterized by their mixed use, including exhibition halls, convention and conference centers, restaurants, hotel and leisure and cultural facilities. It also hosts at its center the famous Tour Triangle, Triangle Tower, designed by our fellow architect Herzog de Meuron. Hence, we have entirely restructured the site, created vast reception halls, rethought the building's architecture, and coordinated the punctual architectural interventions of a group of well-known architects, French architects, including Jean Nouvel, Christian de Port-Sampard, and Dominique Perrault. Thus, Paris will have at its disposal exhibition grounds that are sustainable, efficient, and attractive. They were conceived at once as a neighborhood of Paris and at once as a permanent World's Fair that will allow Paris to keep its lead in the competitive international scene. Moving toward the east, Skolkovo, almost at the heart of Moscow, embodies the great Russian ambition to develop medical, economic, nuclear, space, and biological research, fostering new discoveries and developing them commercially. The 400-hectare site will include, in addition to research establishments, homes for 3,000 people, hotels, a convention center, a university, a startup complex, a technopark, and cultural facilities. Our firm has coordinated the work of some of the greatest names in international and Russian architecture. We have also organized competition open to young Russian architects. We have also been entrusted with the design of some areas, namely a technopark, laboratories for firms developing cutting-edge technology, housing, and a number of other facilities. The housing units are laid out in circles within which wild nature can develop. At the earth, the technopark dominates the landscape like a ship, forming a tribute to major Russian futurist projects. With a floor area of 200,000 square meters, the technopark is, above all, a vast forum for multidisciplinary interaction and exchange designed to foster the development of innovations. With its edge atrium, its skylight domes, its broad walkways overlooking gardens, its futuristic auditorium, and its long black facade stretching 300 meters in the forest, the architecture of the technopark offers a synthesis of Russian scientific creativity and rigorous experimental and inventive processes. Now, moving further to the east, Shenyang is the capital of the Chinese province of Liaoning. Shenyang is a very ancient city, where the first traces of human settlement date back to over 5,000 years. Today, it's a modern industrial metropolis. For the city extension, an urban project closely combining buildings and gardens, we were in charge of designing a vast cultural and administrative hub. It is inscribed within an orthogonal urban grid, and it's organized around a vast rectangular plaza that is about the size of Tiananmen Square. This cultural hub comprises the Liaoning Province archives, a library, an art museum, and a science and technology museum. The project is very big. It includes 400,000 square meters on a 1 million square meter site. The buildings share the same architectural expression characterized by the superposition of large overflowing plates. This very contemporary and vigorous taking is in line with traditional Chinese architecture. Each building develops an architectural specificity that corresponds to its function and that is nevertheless coordinated with the whole hub. The project aspires to take part in the concert of great national and international cultural ensembles while rooting itself in the permanence of the Chinese culture. And now, Shenzhen. Shenzhen, as everyone can see, has in the last few years gone through a spectacular and particularly rapid economic and demographic boom. The need of new exhibition grounds corresponding to its development called for the launching of a colossal project for over 1 million square meters. We won the international competition held on this occasion with our fellow home architects of Shenzhen. This project will be at the center of a new neighborhood that will include hotels, offices, convention centers, and a science city. It will also contribute to the city's land development. The exhibition's grounds call upon the most innovative planning principles. There is a total flexibility with regard to assembling the halls and organizing expositions. Through its scale and dimensions, the project's architecture expresses the city of Shenzhen's ambition and importance. It is a showcase, a real showcase for the megacity's activities. This project adds to a collection of new existing and emblematic buildings that everyone can see in Shenzhen. Located near the airport, it will be largely seen from the airplanes when they land or take off. The project's design embodies the desire for innovation and incredibly swift development that characterize Shenzhen, and this image contributes to the influence of the city. So now we can talk about Jeddah Economic City. As we have seen in the previous talk, the Jeddah Economic City is developing north of the city of Jeddah and its airport. The project is definitely influenced by the construction of the world's tallest skyscraper. The Jeddah Economic City Mall is a veritable mixed-use district that spreads over nearly 1 kilometer at the base of the tower. It comprises a vast shopping mall, an exhibition and conference center, restaurants, leisure and cultural facilities, as well as offices. Its location beneath and around this outstanding tower is what makes it so unique. For us, this context is an opportunity to propose a unique architectural design in keeping with its exceptional setting. This interaction is materialized in the form of a concentric movement, a ripple that spreads out from the tower that forms its epicenter. The phenomenal energy of the tower thus spreads to its immediate neighbor, the Jeddah City Mall. Finally, it's the assembly of two icons, one that rises vertically for 1 kilometer and the other that develops and spreads horizontally over 1 kilometer. Unlike most malls in the world, whose roofs are invaded by technical equipment, the Jeddah's mall roof, undulating in a regular manner, supports an immense garden accessible to visitors. The garden becomes a veritable central park at the city's scale. It is a unique place made of concentric hills and small valleys covered with plants and trees. Under the arcades, visitors can take a walk, stop for a drink, or simply relax. Another of the characteristics that makes this project unique is the development of automatic transport. The center is serviced by a monorail that gives access to a personal rapid transport, which circulates on an elevated rail and irrigates all the project's interior. Panoramic cabins allow visitors and family to move out in the center. The personal rapid transport stations are connecting places situated in strategic locations. Tabular bridges allow passages from one building to another and reinforce the futuristic image of the ensemble. A regular orthogonal geometric pattern was coordinated with the radial and concentric generating lines. We decided to develop a special geometric tool that impacts the design of the entire project, resulting in an architectural form that is both unique and unified. This supports 3 floor levels and the turret section that constitute the roof. When the project's roof of this model is lifted, one discovers that the entire center, like an urban neighborhood, has pedestrian circulation areas in the form of indoor streets, galleries, and squares. Different configurations have been designed to create specific places. The entrance and connection with the adjacent neighborhood are also emblematic gateways that forms vestibule cooled down by waterfalls. The facade on the lake that spreads out at the base of the tower is made up of a succession of terraces and vast pergola that are favorable to the development of numerous restaurants. Inside the project, each intersection between streets and galleries is punctuated by a square with specific decor. They constitute landmarks and center of attention for the visitors. The tower is visible from everywhere and dramatized to reinforce the place's singularity. The presence of vegetation makes the promenade calm and pleasant, while the digital image makes it dynamic. The material used on the inside is natural. The main material used inside is natural light. It is emitted by devices that submit it to diffraction and refraction. The parking lots opens into interior gardens that serve as an entrance to the center. These gardens are particularly welcoming and pleasant to walk through. In the heart of the plan, a large central square opens out panoramically to the Snow Village, one of the numerous leisure activities that gives life to the project. In conclusion, at a time when architectural images of projects are released instantaneously from one side of the planet to the other, there is a big risk that projects influence one another. There is a big risk that a sort of banalization, or inversely, that exaggerated and inappropriate attempts at originality becomes a general rule and empty architecture of its meaning. It is certain that taking the unique context of each project into account, human or historic context, geographic or climatic context, cultural context, natural or urban landscape, presence of exceptional elements, is the essential source of meaning. All this should nourish projects in order to give them meaning and originality. By combining these thoughts with the permanent innovations that make materials progress, construction techniques, technical equipments like lighting, as we will see in the next talk, our transport systems, there is a chance of creating new and meaningful architecture that will participate to the influence that megacities will have. Thank you for listening.